This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, we'll call the traffic meeting to order, February 11th, 2021. Present are Ray Standish, John Paddock, Jared Cram, Cindy Paddock, Dan Carell, Nate Miller, Dave Patrician from the Binghamton Police Traffic Division, as well as Obed from Planning. Let me just pull up the agenda here. I know that Dan Carell has a couple of add-ons that he sent in last night. In addition to, I just sent a request from the city engineering department on the 7 Hawley Street. So I think the first item of business was the kiosk parking on Collier Street behind 79 Collier Street. Dan, you got an IDC for that? I think you froze there, Dan.
He's muted.
Yeah, what we did there is we had a request, I think it came to you at the last meeting.
You should be fine now, Dan. You're just a little choppy.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oops.
We can't hear you, Dan.
Can you hear me? Okay, let me get right.
Dan,
can you hear me now?
Maybe try calling in and using the phone number, and then you can have the webinar up, but you can just dial in via phone.
Okay, whatever you need, because I'm not very good at this stuff. Okay,
Yeah.
hang on a second.
Yeah, in the email should have been a phone number you could also use.
Okay, I'm gonna pull that up now.
Okay.
Oops.
So essentially, while Dan's kind of getting set up, essentially at the rear of the 79 Collier Street, the old Hotel DeVille, near the rear steps, the rear entrance, there were probably about 3 or 4 loading 15-minute parking spots. This was to assist when it was a hotel, people parking, checking in, dropping off bags, etc. It has not been used as a hotel in many years, and in fact now is being converted into apartments. So the necessity for a 15-minute parking zone behind the former hotel is no longer needed. And we were seeking to transition it to kiosk style parking. Dan, are you on with us via phone now?
Not yet. Can you hear me?
Yep.
We can hear you better now. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Basically, what we did. Excuse me. There was a space from 100 and I don't have the right sheet with me, darn it. It was about three car lengths behind the building there that were for 15-minute parking zone. What we did is we're going to take those out and make those into a kiosk parking. So basically, it's just transitioning it from kiosk from the 15-minute parking to kiosk parking.
Okay.
Okay. The measurements. I sent everybody a copy of the IDC, so the measurements are there. I don't have those in front of me right now. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
What I can do is I will read it from the IDC just so we can have it on the record.
Okay.
Essentially, there would be a motion to delete the 15-minute parking limit between 8 a.m. and 11 p.m. on Collier Street, the west side, from 199 feet south to Court Street to 250 feet south, and amend kiosk parking zone on Collier Street from that west side, again 155 feet south of Court Street to 190 feet south to read to 255 feet south. So we're essentially extending the kiosk parking zone, and DPW sign shop can move the kiosk parking zone signs. to reflect this change. Do we have a motion?
I make a motion.
Ray makes a motion, John seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Chief Yeager, did you join us on the phone as well? Doesn't sound like he's on. Okay.
Heather did.
Okay. Next, we had Hotchkiss Street. Dan, you have anything on that?
On what street was that?
Hotchkiss?
Oh, Hotchkiss Street, yes. Okay, basically what that is, you got a request from a resident up there that the street is narrow and is crooked, and they'd like to make it into an exempt street for alternate street parking. I think at this time, what we should do is put it on hold because the season's almost over, and maybe look at it for next year.
Okay, and this is on the south side, right?
It's on the south side, yes.
Okay.
And
All right,
by the
so
time you
maybe-
get the signs up and everything, the season's going to be over.
Sure. So what we'll do is we can table it for, the March or April meeting, keep it on the agenda, and we can revisit it at that time. No issue there. The next one was the 31 Lewis Street loading zone.
Yes, okay, what we have there, we had a couple of changes over there on Lewis Street, a couple of different times. And, but what they're having now is a problem with deliveries. Trucks are pulling into the parking lot and they're backing in or pulling in and making it very dangerous for either clients or tenants of that building to walk through the parking lot. And they would like to maybe put a loading zone on Lewis Street. And so what we did is we reviewed it, went over there. And what we're going to recommend is that that we put a loading zone on the north side of Lewis Street from 190 feet east of Prospect Ave to 230 feet east. And that the existing no parking zone be cut back from 230 feet to Shenango Street.
Okay, so just so I'm clear, that this is if there's somewhat of an entrance closest to the Kilmer building main entrance, and this would be to the west, those first couple spaces to the west of that?
That'd be correct, huh?
Okay,
And it would serve to any deliveries, UPS, post office, or anything to the restaurant that's in the building.
okay. Are there any questions?
No.
Okay, so for the record, we're deleting a no parking anytime zone on the north side of Lewis Street from 235 feet east of Prospect Avenue to Shenango Street, and inserting a loading zone from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. on weekdays and 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. on Saturdays on the north side of Lewis Street from 190 feet east of Prospect Avenue to 230 feet east. And also moving the no parking anytime zone on Lewis Street north side from 230 feet east of Prospect Avenue to Shenango Street. So with the 10 existing spaces roughly that they're there, this will take 2 of the spaces, so we have still 8 on-street parking spaces. Do we have a
That's
motion?
correct.
I make a motion.
Ray makes a motion. We second?
Second.
John seconds. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay. Next was the site plan review as part of, and Obed, you can jump in here. Is this part of the planning process for the surface parking lot adjacent to the parking garage? I forwarded the plans this morning. I'm not sure if traffic board got them before
This
early this morning when I forwarded them.
this is not part of the site plan review. Planning Commission already passed some recommendations to COD. This is a city project. It does not need site plan review. So it was put under other business. So this is again up to just a recommendation, I guess, from traffic board to COD again.
Okay. And obviously, Ray, you're familiar with these plans. Cindy, had you had a chance to see them before we sent them along?
No, I just saw him this morning.
Okay. And Ray, was traffic board, was the anticipation that we would vote today, or just because we didn't see the plans before this morning?
If you don't want to vote today, you could probably wait until the March meeting, but it would have to go out to bid like immediately after that.
Okay. And if we have to have a special meeting, sometime just on this one agenda item, I'm fine with that. I want to get Cindy and everyone an opportunity to review the plans. Again, they just got delivered this morning. So why don't we plan on doing that? And Ray, you let me know, and I'll talk to the mayor too. I'm sure that there's a tight timeline on this, but we may just have a one item special meeting next week, potentially, if there's any concerns, that sort of thing.
Okay.
Okay. Obed, you had an issue that came to your attention at around 5 Court Street with some bicycle and pedestrian safety issues.
Yes, so again, like Jared said, this is around 5 Court Street, right where the city put the new infrastructure in to make the crosswalk more accessible for disabled people. During my site visits, when I go around the city, I see FedEx and other delivery services, especially now with the addition of DoorDash and Uber and the increased traffic over there with the Ecstasy restaurant. They seem to be parking in front of or on the crosswalk there. And I am an avid bicyclist, so I do use the bike lane a lot when I go to work and go back from work back home. And it is just a little bit of a dangerous situation going on there with the cars and the trucks just parking in the bike lane. And especially when I go on my run during lunchtime there, when they're blocking the crosswalk, it is kind of another dangerous situation that is continuing to develop. So I was hoping maybe, if anything, if the traffic board could look at this and see what they could do.
I think that's posted as no parking. So it's probably going to be more of an enforcement issue than it is any other changes there. I know Broome Transit parks there alongside Boscov's, but I think it's probably going to be more of an enforcement issue than it is going to be an update on any other enforcement issues.
Yeah, I think, we can keep it on for next month's agenda, give some time for maybe BPD traffic to check things out. I'm pretty sure that the signage is all complete in that area. I also think that, and we can refer this or talk a little bit about it, is that the actual business there, I don't know if they're doing some sort of to-go situation. I seem to see cars parked there quite a bit. So we may be able to inquire with the business as to why so many of people involved in their business are parking right outside there. And then maybe in advance in the next meeting, we can get to the bottom of what's going on. And maybe it's something the business can assist us in telling either their employees or otherwise patrons of the business not to do that. So thank you, Obed.
Much appreciated. Thank you.
Yep. Okay, Dan, I think you had a couple additional items, just discussion issues that nothing's finalized yet. The first one, North Street between Oak and Edwards.
Yeah, what I did, there's been a lot of incidents on North Street, but surprisingly, most of them are parking incidents over the years, where cars are involved in accidents, where parked cars are being hit by either passing motors, people backing from a driveway out into the roadway. However, there are accidents at intersections. For example, I reviewed from 2017 through 2019 at the following intersections. And Oak at North Street in 2019, there were 2 intersection accidents. Murray Street, 2019, there's 1 accident in 2019 and 2 in 2020. Chapin and North, there were just 2 accidents in 2018. Mather Street, 2019 and 2020 had 1 each. Walnut Street, 2018 had 3, and 2019 had 1. And Edward Street had 1 in 2019 and 1 in 2020. So as far as the intersections go, they're pretty much, I don't want to say routine, but spread out. That they're really nothing that's showing a high incident of occurrences that would require putting 4-way stops or speed bumps or anything like that. We do also have about 10 unknowns that we have to look at because we can't find the accident reports or what's at those locations. But
Okay.
we want to continue looking.
Go ahead, Dan. Sorry.
We want to continue looking at that street, but right now there's nothing to justify putting any traffic lights or speed bumps or anything like that.
So I think what would be good is we can have this as an agenda item for the next month's meeting. In that time, maybe we can get those other 10 that maybe you haven't been able to track down through police records based on the intersection, and we can get some just more information about what we're actually talking about here, number of accidents, et cetera, and then we can discuss it in more detail at the March meeting with hopefully all of the accident data that's available. And Cindy, I don't imagine we would have traffic counts for these intersections.
I can take a look. We may have a few old counts there.
Yeah.
If this sounds like, not sure exactly what's going on out there, but this might be a place for the city to consider having a road safety audit that we've done before, where we go out and walk the area. Once the weather gets nice, and see what changes could be made out there to make improvements. You might want to think about that for the March meeting. We could talk about it.
Yeah, and I think what the real cause is, I'm not sure, Ray, you would probably remember, I'm not sure if it was 2 summers ago, North Street was paved, probably for the first time in a long time. So it was fresh, new blacktop, and it caused, I think, speeds to go up a little bit. I think we've also looked at maybe putting a double yellow out there from a couple of years past. I can't remember if we ever moved forward with that, but that could be one of the recommendations for the road safety audit that you're talking about.
Okay.
All right.
Also, if the accidents prove that the stop signs are being run, we can always put in the larger stop signs as an option.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
that might help, but really, it's just not a high incidence of intersections that are having the stop signs run. It's just a few that are having it, and it's not even high enough, I would say, to justify it. But if it helps, it helps.
okay, we'll put it on the agenda for the next meeting, and maybe between that time, if we get some warm weather, we could head out there or walk the corridor.
Okay.
Okay. The other item, Riverside Drive and Murray Street, the traffic signal, those signs went up. We've received a few calls, a couple emails, and Councilwoman Riley sent a combination of a few comments that she received maybe on Facebook or otherwise. So I think Traffic Board has those. One of the things that I've been doing with the folks that I speak to is sort of explaining a bit of a history, and then also the predicament that the city is in, given that it does not warrant a traffic signal there based on traffic counts, and also some of the concerns with the traffic light. So that's sort of my update. We've been receiving some inquiries, but again, speaking to the synagogue and the dental office right across the street, who are the principal folks that were concerned about it a couple of years ago. I have not heard as much from them. I'll try to follow up with them toward the end of the study period.
Jared, we put the signs up, but it didn't go on flash with the stop signs on Murray.
Is the protocol not?
And there should be on flash.
Yeah, it should be on flash and the stop sign on Murray. And then the 3 months would start for the seeing if there was an issue.
Is that possible given the condition of the light, John?
I don't know. It's been on flash randomly at times, so I don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
But that's the only way you can truly do this. That's the protocol for the signal study for removal, is to put it
That's
on
correct.
flash with those signs.
Correct.
So John, what we'll do is let's get together maybe with Cindy and Ray after, sometime this week after the meeting and get with Danny and see what's capable given the condition of the light. Okay. And then I know too, Dan, that you sent the Conklin Avenue parking sketch. I got that last night. To be honest, I haven't really had a chance to review it. I got the IDC. I kind of know generally what we're talking about. I don't know if any folks had a chance to look at that. It came in late last night, or we should probably want to wait till we review it and talk about it in March.
Yeah, basically what it's done is, where the city, after they did the repaving, they put the parallel parking in and took the diagonal parking out. What we're showing is to put the diagonal parking back in, and then to restructure the no parking zones, or actually taking them out and extending the parking, the parallel parking further up Conklin Ave from where the diagonal parking is. So you're going to have an increase in the amount of parking. But yeah, if you want to meet on it, we can review it.
For some reason, I can't open up the file on this computer, but I know it was sent last night as a PDF. So we can give a review.
Okay. Yeah, I'm available whenever you want, so just yell.
Okay. That was it for the agenda. Did anyone else have anything, Cindy or Dan?
I don't have anything.
I have nothing else.
Okay. I know we've got a few callers on. Heather, if you're on, we can start with you if you had a comment for today.
Yeah, a couple of officers, I did not get their names, came up yesterday to inquire about the traffic. One of them said that he was going to be on the board today, so I don't know who that was. But anyways, he asked if anything had happened, changed with the traffic. I said, no, it's the same. There's still, the speed is the same. The light is below our house. So they start putting on their brakes maybe in front of our house, but they're still speeding in front of our house. So that sign doesn't do a lot of good. And I think we talked about this before.
Is this Pennsylvania Ave we're talking about?
This is Pennsylvania Avenue.
Okay.
So I threw it out there and I said, what if we had like some yellow flashing signs above a speed limit sign? Like, hello, if you're not awake, wake up now. It's time to get your speed to 30 miles an hour, period. And the officer that was here didn't think that was such a bad idea. Didn't think a flashing red light was appropriate, but a flashing yellow might. And possibly bigger speed limit signs, not the small ones, but the bigger ones, both north and south.
Fine.
Is any of that feasible?
I think, and Cindy, you probably know better, I think the flashing speed limit signs may be technically allowable under best practices with the MUTCD in terms of, the name's escaping me, but some sort of alert signage. I'm not as familiar with that. I don't believe that we have any in the city that are not associated with the school districts.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take a look. I've seen them. I don't know. I didn't think of I've seen any around that are not in a school zone. Let me check with PCD about that, and also let me check about the larger speed limit signs. You know, stop signs, I'm really familiar with the larger ones. Speed limits, I'm not, but I can check into that too.
I know it's the beginning when you're coming north on Pennsylvania Avenue. It's a big 30-mile-an-hour speed limit, and then it drops into a smaller one, which it's kind of out of the way, nobody sees, and you know that's their second chance, I guess, before getting a ticket on the speed limit. And also we need speed limit signs going south. There aren't. There's one.
Okay, we'll look into the flashing lights and go from there. Cindy, were we able to pull any of the data from that speed?
I know how to do it now, and I will be doing it. I had to get a special flash drive to do it. I talked to the company, the contact that you gave me, and I just haven't gotten out there with the snow, and I broke my wrist. So
Yeah.
Hopefully not snow related.
Get out
didn't fall
there.
Did you?
to do that. I had to be a little cautious after I just did it 2 weeks ago. So, yes, the answer is yes, I know how to do it. And yes, I will be doing it. And I can give you a listing of, you know, we can see what the trends are with the speeds on there, hopefully from that data that it's collecting.
Good, very good.
That speed limit sign, the electronic, is collecting data.
Yes.
Okay.
It's collecting the speed of vehicles as they go past it. So we should be able to pull that up and analyze it and figure out the trend.
And Cindy, that's even something, you know, oh, go ahead, Heather.
I want to know if I could also see a copy of that.
Oh, sure. Once I download it, I'll share it with the board and it'll be available.
Thank you.
I was going to say too, Cindy, if that's anything that you want to put on the, you know, the BMTS website, I know you do a lot of different publications. It may not need its own thing, but you know, that's just additional data, you know, for the public. I think that'd be a good thing, especially if we're thinking about more locations for these. And talking to some folks regarding Riverside Drive, the areas that I thought were residents had noticed speeding are different than I think what conventional wisdom was. So we should talk about that as well. And I'm looking forward to seeing that data. Hopefully it's good, accurate, readable type of data.
I apologize for not getting there sooner. It's just kind of been difficult.
That's okay. We had another person on a call. Was there anyone else who was looking to call and make a comment? Oh, Heather, I'll give you the last word.
Oh, well, this is, hello?
Oh, go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. This is Angela Riley. I am the other caller here. I thank you for noticing the letter sent and data compiled from local residents here in the 3rd District regarding Murray and Riverside. I did also want to highlight, I was going to send in a separate letter, but the link that talks about the removal procedures on the traffic board's website, where most of the community members have been going, to really understand the process by which a sign or light is removed is broken. So I've received several emails about that as well. If someone can assist us by updating the link that is sending residents to the ITE guidelines on the traffic board website page on the website, that would be great.
Okay.
So that's point one. Point two, I did also want to inquire, are you thinking of having a community meeting about the study and the upcoming changes? I know I heard Cindy mention that there should be a different process in place that's not currently active. So is it possible to have a community meeting or forum of some sort to, again, educate the residents at one point, opposed to the several emails and calls?
It's possible. I'd have to look back and see what we've done for other signal removal processes. I think it's possible. The other thing too is that, ultimately City Council, if they wish, could conduct that as well. And so
Okay.
we'll have, depending on, again, once we get further into the study period and see what sort of public comments what we've gotten. I've been able to date to, I think, respond to all of them individually, but that's not a bad thought, and we'll see what happens further along in the process.
Right. And it is going around the community, Jared, that you are responding, so they appreciate that. And some have received a phone call, so others are asking, well, why didn't he call me? So just be aware that that is happening as well. Regarding North Street, I also thank you for bringing that up, as I've written the board about that as well. I'm not sure that the concern was regarding accidents alone, but about the rate, the speed rates that occur, particularly in the summer, that then cause problems relating to the walkability of that area. So that data may not be able to be captured. I know someone was going back to pull more data on North Street, but perhaps another assessment of the speeding, similar to what the young lady before me discussed on Penn Avenue, could be utilized in this area as well, so we can determine if that is more of a problem than the number of accidents at intersections.
Yep, and I think as part of a road safety assessment, if we're working with BMTS, that would
So
all.
are we talking about?
Go ahead, Dan. I think we might have lost Dan here.
I was just wondering if she looking to get this. Are we looking to get the speed reduced? Is that what she's looking to do?
No. I think people are not upholding the current.
Can you hear me?
No. Can you hear me?
Yep, go ahead, Councilwoman Riley.
So you're looking for more enforcement than anything else?
I'm not looking for more enforcement. I'm looking for possibly strategies to improve the safety of our walkers in and around the North Street area.
Okay, and what I think Councilwoman Riley, what she's shared in the past is that, especially in the summertime, when people are walking, it may be a combination of people that the cars that are speeding, or maybe are they running stop signs, et cetera, but also too that if North Street is viewed as a very busy corridor, that will people be less likely to want to walk on it, or is there not the infrastructure in place from a crosswalk standpoint, from a line of sight standpoint for pedestrians? So Councilwoman Riley, one of the things that we did, I believe very successfully, is a similar process on Grand Boulevard, maybe similar in length as well, where we studied all of the intersections and looked at them sort of piece by piece, what are they missing in terms of signage? Is there anything missing in terms of pedestrian striping? Should there be a center line, double yellow in the course of the street to visually narrow the roadway for motorists? Are there availability to add on-street parking, which can further calm traffic? So all of those strategies would be on the table, in addition to looking at the accident reports, which Dan Corral and Traffic Division are pulling to see if there are specific intersections where there's actually traffic safety issues just with vehicles alone. So that'll be happening over the course of the next month, and hopefully by the March meeting or maybe the April meeting, we'll have a corridor basically assessment that we can look at improvements, and DPW can make any signage or crosswalk changes that are necessary.
Okay. Now, I do have to highlight, though, if assessed right now, you will get a different perspective from our highly walkable season. Again, this is winter. We reduce our driving and walking. So I'm not sure the assessment will give a true depiction of the problem time and area if done right now.
Well, we can look at delaying it until the summer. We're happy to do that. I think that the assessment would be strictly on the physical conditions of the street. So it would not be like a public comment assessment. It would be what are actually the geometry, the intersections, what amenities are there, which exist year round. But if you're saying that in the spring and summertime that there are more pedestrians out and their movements could be better observed, or what the traffic is like, we'd be happy to do that as well, and wait until May, June timeframe to do it.
Right. I was speaking specifically to the traffic flow and the pedestrian activities in relation to the geometric design and things that are fixed parts of the neighborhood.
All right, so maybe in the May time frame, that would be a good time, weather a little bit better, that we can do this. Does that work?
I would say that sounds good. I'm not sure. I would like to take it back to the community members and see what they think. So if we postpone it to May, then that will give us time for a healthy amount of feedback from the residents that live in and around North Street.
All right, and yeah, you can send us an email, or we'll keep it on the traffic board agenda so we don't forget about it.
Thank you for that.
Okay. Anything else from any of the members?
I just had one more thing to say. Is that okay?
Yep, Heather, I'll give you the last word.
Okay. We have a substantial, and I mean a substantial, when it's nice, number of bikers on this, and I don't mean motorcycles, I mean bikers on this road, and nobody is looking out for them. I mean, we could have 4 or 5 cars parked in the little parking area across the street, and they're all full of bikes. So, yeah, and nobody's, and we also have walkers. Not a lot, but we do have walkers. So, we're not, I don't know. I'm just discouraged with 2 years living here and on here almost every month trying to figure out what we can do to slow the speed down of the traffic.
Okay. With that, we'll take a motion to adjourn. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Ray makes a motion. John, you second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.